Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of JM Growth Co. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing 3 things that actually helped me become a millionaire by the age of 25. That's right. So I'm not saying any of this stuff to brag or to bloat or anything like that. It's only based to inspire people who actually want to get there. Now, whether that number is 25, if that's your goal, maybe it's 30, 40, or if it's just become a millionaire in general, if you really focus on these 3 things and these main 3 things, you should be able to get there without any issue. So the main first thing that most people actually get wrong, which is the simplest thing and it's free that anyone can do, is actually have that as a goal, right? A lot of people think that becoming a millionaire is so far out of reach, or they kind of equate it to only becoming a millionaire when you actually win the lottery. Well, it's actually a lot more probable that you're going to get struck by lightning than winning the lottery. Some people are millionaires by winning the lottery, but if that's the only way in your brain that you can actually think you can become a millionaire, it's way too far away, and it's almost like wishing to be struck by lightning. No one, of course, is going to wish for that, so maybe there's a better way to actually do that. So the first step to actually becoming a millionaire is make that your goal. And then once you have that a goal and you start believing that you are worthy enough to become a millionaire, then you're already most of the way there, right? Because a lot of people actually get stuck in that phase of, okay, I want to be a millionaire. Can I be a millionaire? Yes, that's a nice to have, but that's not a must have. Once it turns into a must have and that becomes who you want to become in the future, that's a great thing. Now, you're going to have to battle all these things inside your head about money. Do I need it? Do I not need it? Am I a good person with it? Am I a good person without it? The way I view money is pretty simple. Money should be a measurement tool on how many people you've helped. The more money you have, the more people you've helped. Also, money is viewed as a magnifier. So if you're a good person before money, if you have more, you're just going to have more to be good with, right? If you're an asshole before money and you have more, you're just going to be more of an asshole once you have a lot more money itself. So step number 1 in becoming a millionaire, no matter by what age, is actually make that a goal and make it believable for yourself, right? If you actually want to understand how to write down goals and how to kind of set up goals, we have a whole YouTube video explaining that in detail that might help you out. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and that can move you to the next direction. Step number 2 is definitely going to be work ethic. So I had a very strong work ethic growing up. So as an example, if I wanted to see my father growing up, I would actually have to go to work. My father was an immigrant from Portugal, and he works 7 days a week, building his business in many different industries, kind of figuring out and just doing it the hard way. And that taught me a whole lot, seeing him, my grandfather, the men of the house, going outside every single day, providing for their family, and saving was super, super important, a lesson for me to actually learn growing up. A lot of people kind of have this idea of work-life balance. Well, if your goal is to actually become a millionaire, understand that there's not that many millionaires out there. Do you know that only about 4% of businesses in the country actually make over $1 million in sales? Now, if you have a business that does over $1 million in sales, that does not make you a millionaire, right? That just makes your business generate 7 figures in actual sales itself. So if only 4% of businesses actually hit that, that means even less people are actually millionaires itself. So if you want something that most people do not have, you cannot be doing the actions or live the life that most people are living. So if you're trying to find this work-life balance piece and become a millionaire, in the very beginning, it is very, very difficult. So the whole idea with work-life balance, I believe there's a better term, which is work-life integration. And I'm the kind of guy where, hey, if you want to be a millionaire, that's perfectly okay with me. But decide on the future that you want and stop reacting to the present that you're in, right? Don't be a victim of your circumstances and design the future. And if you're living the life that you want to live, 100%, you won the game. Congratulations. You're better than me because you already won. I'm still trying to chase the next level itself. And for me, it's more about growth and kind of how do I actually measure up to my potential, because that's the way I view things, right? But you're not going to be a millionaire unless you have strong work ethic. Now, what does strong work ethic mean? That means you're not working for money. I know it's ironic, but once you actually do something only for the sole fact of making money, it's actually getting you further away because there's only so many hours you can actually work. The person you are today, if you're not making $1 million or if you're not a millionaire, has to change to the person who can become a millionaire in the future, which means the skill sets you have today are only giving you what you actually have today as a result, which means if you want to make more in the future, you have to up your skills. And a lot of that work ethic is actually doing hands-on labor or actual activities, but some of that work ethic is when you're tired and you're bored or you just want to give up for the day or whatever it is, it's taking on one more lesson, maybe researching one more thing. What's one extra thing that might waste your time in the future but will bring you down the rabbit hole to actually open up your mind to have a new idea that can get you to that millionaire mindset, right? So when it comes to actually work ethic itself, pretty much I define it like this. Are you willing to work longer and harder than most people around you? And let's be honest, the bar is set pretty low for most people in this country itself. Working an 8-hour day, 40 hours a week is not working hard one bit, right? 80 hours a week, now you're just starting to kind of get into the realm of working hard. But there was many weeks I was working 100 plus hours per week, day in, day out, 7 days a week, nonstop, because I had a vision, I had a goal, and not everything was working my way. And being able to stay consistent, keep showing up even when things are not going your way, that is the difference between the person you are today and the millionaire that you can become no matter what age that you want. So that's going to be number 2. And the third and final thing that actually helped me become a millionaire by 25 is going to be the ability to invest in yourself, right? So we talked about already having the goal, this step number 1, being able to work hard, which means actually put in the effort, put in the time, be able to sacrifice, right? Delayed gratification. And then number 3 is probably one of the most important, and it's the biggest multiplier between both two, right? So you can actually have the goal of being a millionaire and work super hard, and you will actually get there. But if you want to get there in any type of fast way, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever that number is for you, investing in yourself is the secret that most people are afraid to actually do. Because when you actually invest in yourself and you learn from somebody who's been there already, they can actually give you years of experience within just a few hours or days of actual coaching, right? So that means finding a mentor, or reading a book, listening to podcasts, signing up for an online course, doing whatever you have to do, even when it's scary and it should be expensive, whatever expensive means to you, because that means you're actually going to absorb all the information and you're going to pay attention, right? I remember the first business event that I actually went to where I decided to invest in myself. And that was a Grant Cardone, actually one of his first growth cons that he had. And pretty much I was new in this whole thing. I think I had like $3,000 in my bank. I just started my business. Things are kind of moving okay, but like I'm feeling stuck. I'm working every day. I have the goal of becoming a millionaire. I'm working 7 days a week. Things are moving okay. Got my first 1 or 2 employees, but things are okay. At this point, I got $3,000 in my bank account, and now I hear about this Grant Cardone guy. And he's playing the game a lot higher than I am. And he's somebody who potentially I want to learn from. At this point, okay, what do? I start researching how much are the tickets, and the cheapest ticket I can find was $900. So a $900 ticket is a lot when you only have $3,000 in your bank account. Now, the ticket did not include the flight, the hotel, or anything like that. So at that point, I had to go on the flight, I had to pay for the hotel. I went to like the supermarket to kind of buy some snacks and stuff so I didn't have to spend too much money for lunch. And I was a saver. I tried to make sure everything was good. And once I realized I had no idea what I signed up for, I signed up for a ticket called like general admission, which is supposed to be all the way in the back. But I didn't know. I just thought I had a ticket for the place. So I walked in. I tried to sit in as far up as possible. The first couple rows were taken, but I found this nice spot and had a table and everything. And because it was so much money to me, I was taking notes of everything the speakers were saying. I was absorbing as much as I could because it was so valuable to me on how much money that I actually spent. I worked so hard for that money itself, so that's where it became super valuable. So that was very scary. The next day, I actually show up and they read my ticket and like, hey, you're not supposed to be sitting here. You're supposed to be sitting all the way in the back. So literally, I went all the way to the back, had just a chair to myself, with of course everybody else who ordered these tickets itself, and there was no even chair at all. At that moment, I'm like, never again. I'm gonna learn everything that I can. I'm gonna now implement what I need to learn. And just the fact of investing in myself, I said, okay, the next year I'm gonna sit up all the way in the front row. Now, that was my goal. That was my dream. And when you really think about it, I just repeated the whole thing. I had a goal, sit up in the front row. Those tickets I think were like $15,000 or something like that. Then work very hard. I already had the work ethic piece. Working hard was easy for me at this point because I flexed that muscle nice and hard. And now the next thing is invest in myself again. And by the next year, by the next time that came in, I was sitting right in the front row. I paid $15,000 to $20,000 for that seat, and my business had grown. Now, that doesn't mean $15,000 to $20,000 was nothing to me at that point. It was still a lot of money. But the fact that I kept investing more money than I was comfortable with, That is where I actually took action because I was so uncomfortable spending that kind of money. I took so much action after that because I had to. I wired my brain to have a return on that investment, right? So if you want the secret to become a millionaire, and no matter what age that you have, there's only 3 things you really need to focus on. Step number 1, make sure you decide and commit to becoming a millionaire. Make sure you believe that you are worthy enough to actually get that going. Number 2 is going to be make sure that you actually have the work ethic that you need, which means be able to work 7 days a week. Have the sacrifice. Don't worry about work-life balance. And work harder than anybody around you. Be the first one at the office or at the job. Be the last one to leave. Put in that time because you're just going to get better and better with the skill set. You're flexing your muscles every single day. Push back the delayed gratification. And then the third thing is invest in yourself with somebody who already has what you want and kind of can shortcut the path to get there. And a lot of times investing in myself, I learned a little bit of tactics, but the biggest thing that I actually learned was a mindset shift. How to think bigger, how to actually grow bigger, how to attract more people. So when you invest in yourself, you're going to learn new skills, which is going to make you better, but you're also going to start thinking different. And that's where really the magic starts to happen. So I only tell you this to inspire people. I had to learn it the hard way. I've invested since that point over $1 million into my own personal development, and I keep using this tactic every single day. I keep working hard every single day. I make sure I reset my goals to the next level. And then from there, I keep investing in myself with people who have already done it so I can get there even faster. Now, if you're a business owner or manage a business and you want to get your business to one of the top 3 levels, which is going to be $1 million in sales, followed by $1 million in profit, and then scale and sell if that's what you're after, I've done all those things multiple times, and I can help you do the same thing no matter what industry that you're in. So if you're interested in learning more, check out our website, jmgrowthco.com. Again, jmgrowthco.com. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.